spirits get stuck. My name is Mariana. I'm the energy reader. I do think that a part of your spirit and or soul can get fragmented and stuck. And if that can happen while we're alive, trauma, war, famine, starvation, any number of things that can happen to people throughout the world, if it can happen to us when we're alive, I believe it can happen to us after we pass. A lot of the same people that say, oh, we pass over and there's no way any of us can get stuck or any part of us can get stuck, are very often the very same people who are saying the reason that they can visit with us after they're dead, even if they're reincarnated, is because they're multifaceted and multitasking. And I would agree with that. But if I agree with that, then I also have to agree with the idea that we're so multifaceted that parts of us can get lost or stuck somewhere. Does that mean 100% of us is stuck? No, and not in my opinion. Short story, there was a guy, he was cruising down the road out front. They flipped. There was 3 people in the car. They flipped. He fell out. He passed away in our pasture. And I walked out there and accidentally, I didn't know there was somebody had passed away in our pasture. So I walked out to ask the police, do you need any help? And I walked right past him. So I did, have a conversation with him when I walked back to the house, like, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here, kind of a vibe. And then I thought he had left. And then about a month later, I'm standing on my porch and I just my attention is drawn to the pasture where he passed away. And I was like, you're still there. So a part of him, in my opinion, was still there. And so we had I had a conversation, we had a conversation, and he didn't want to go. He was afraid of the life that he had lived, where he was going. His grandpa kind of came into the conversation, and I do work on evidence, and I didn't talk to his family because I don't know his family. I don't know him. But when you've been doing this long enough, some things you just understand and take on faith. Point being, his grandfather came into the conversation and his grandfather said, hey, I'm going to help you bring at least this part of you to the other side. Was it the fearful part? Was it the child part? What part of it was him? I don't believe it was all of him. I believe it was a part of him, and his grandfather helped him transition fully. So just like we can have dissociative personality disorder, we can have schizophrenia, we can have different fragmented mental capacities and diagnoses. I believe that it is the same after death, because when they come down here, we don't know that they haven't reincarnated, but this is a part of them coming down to visit with us as we do mediumship. So I think you can't really have one without the other. You can't say, oh yeah, they could talk to you after they've been reincarnated, but they never need our help to pass over. 2 cents.